there is one thing that will be a total game changer when it comes to your social media strategy. And today we are going to talk about it. You know what differentiates 90% of all the people who are posting on social media and the top 1% of all creators? This is a very simple and yet not a very obvious rule, which is to combine your creative and analytical parts of your brain. And when we think about social media, we typically think about coming up with content ideas, scrolling on Instagram and watching what other people are posting, writing text for posts, creating photos and videos. But this is just one part of our brain. This is the creative part. And yet we all also have the analytical part, which allows us to analyze the content, to reflect on what is working and what doesn't, to understand the market, to understand how the competition works, what is the competition within your niche. And this is exactly the change that you need to make in order to boost your social media performance, in order to grow your social media, and to do it for long term. By the way, guys, as you can see, my background has changed. I am currently in a new place in a flat that I'm renting for 1 month, so it's like a transition flat for me. I'm still searching for a place where I can move to at the beginning of September. So I'm very sorry about the sun that is changing constantly right now and the background, because this is basically a very small apartment. Let's just work with what we have, right? In this video, we are going to talk about how to combine the creative and analytical thinking when it comes to social media. More importantly, I want to talk with you about the analytical part, because again, this is something that not a lot of people do, and the people who do it, they all see what a big difference it makes. So grab your water, grab your tea or anything else, and let's start. For those of you who don't know me, hi, my name is Alisa. I'm a passionate content creator for the last 7 years. I have my company which is called Contentment, and at Contentment we specialize at building sustainable social media strategies for other businesses and also for individuals. So this is basically my job, to understand how to build a strategy that lasts for a long time, that brings long-term results, and that is easy to sustain, to maintain. And one of the insights that I got lately, because I am listening to a lot of podcasts on entrepreneurship, leadership, social media, and the insight basically was that a lot of people just use one of the two parts of the brain. So creative one or analytical one. From the childhood, we are predispositioned to do the activities that we are good at. So if we like math and if we are good at math, then we continue doing math for our adult life, or we try to find a field that is similar to that. And vice versa. If we are good at writing text, for example, and then we go into this direction. And this is exactly the point that the guy who was hosting this podcast made. If we manage to combine both of these parts of our brains, we will basically become the top 1% of all of the people, because they do not utilize it as much. What does it exactly mean for social media? Social media is not only a creative space. As much as I love the creativity, as much as I love to brainstorm ideas, as much as I love to film content and to write texts, social media is also a lot about the analysis. You need to understand what performs good and what doesn't. You need to establish causality, so to understand why does this piece of content perform better than another one, and how can I learn from it? And this analytical process is actually what helps you to reflect on the content that you've already created and to do more of what works and less of what doesn't work, which is basically the essence of growing sustainably. What I started to do is to practice daily content audits, which basically means that every single day I take time in order to analyze content that I've posted on a previous day. So I always give my content 1 day for gathering the metrics, because 1 day is typically enough in order to see the peak of performance. Of course, there are cases when your video blows up after 1 or 2 months after it was posted. Normally on social media you already see if the video performs good or bad within 1 day. Let's say I've posted a video yesterday on TikTok. what I will gonna do today is I will open my laptop where I have my, it's not even in like Excel or something, I just opened my notes app and I created a table there. And this table has some key things that I'm looking at. So firstly, we look at which platform was it? So where did you post your content? Secondly, we look at the content format. Was it a video? Was it a post? Was it a carousel? Thirdly, we look at the topic. So in my example, it was a video that I made about Munich Startup Festival. It was more like a vlog format with a voiceover. For every single platform, there are key metrics. So key metrics are things that are very important for this platform in order for you to grow. The key metrics for LinkedIn are not the same as key metrics for TikTok, but it is actually very easy to find out which key metrics you should look at for every platform. Firstly, because all of the platforms actually offer really good insights. So if you go on TikTok, you can have so many analytics about your content, but basically you can look at average watch time. You can look at when the people stopped watching your video, and you can gain a lot of information from it. There are some second grade analytics, for example, how many people have followed you after you posted the content, or how many people have DM'd you. Maybe it didn't got as many likes, but it got leads. So you always need to kind of check these different types of performance metrics. After I see the performance metrics, I try to establish causalities. So causality basically means that we need to establish the effect and the cause, or the cause and effect, doesn't matter. In the example that you see here, I realized that me saying "so guys" in the first 2 seconds of the video actually was a very weak hook, and this is why people didn't stay at the video for a long time. My causality is basically that my hook has led to people who stopped watching my content. And finally, the important piece of this whole work is basically to write down the learnings. So what I've learned from it is that I can't use "so guys" as the first phrase that I say in the video, and I did it for years because this is my habit. You can imagine I have been doing this for years, and for years people have been stepping out of my content when they've heard this phrase. This is like mind-blowing for me because I never realized that before I analyzed my content. And this is actually it. This is a very simple process. The only hard thing here is to make it a habit. You've probably read the book Atomic Habits by James Clear, or if you didn't, then I definitely encourage you to do so. So basically, a habit is something that has the greatest impact on our life, because these are small daily things that we automatize, so we don't even think when we are doing them. And imagine that you are doing this habit of analyzing your content for 1 month, for 3 months, for half a year, for a year. In 1 year, you will be so on point with your content game. You will know exactly which types of hooks you should use, which types of video formats perform the best for you and your channel. Knowledge is power. When you have this knowledge, it means that you have the power to shape your content strategy and your social media strategy in the way that works the best for you. So I hope that this video was helpful for you, and if you know anyone who will profit from it, then definitely send this video to them. I really encourage you to subscribe to my free weekly newsletter, which is called Content Newsletter. Give this video a thumbs up. Follow my channel. This means a lot for me, and I am super happy that my channel is slowly but surely growing. And yeah, as usually, we will see each other in the next one. Bye.